Fire Radio.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the National Fire Radio podcast. That's my opening voice, Ben. That's how I do it. Everybody, like, I gotta get in there. Ben Wilson, my man, thanks for joining me again on the podcast. It's been a hot minute.
Dude, it's going to be a blast.
This is fun. So you were on back episode 171, I think it is, and now we're at like 3 something. So quite a while ago, but man, I had so much fun with you on the podcast. Like we went all in. I found you on Instagram putting out these awesome like training nuggets, man. These like quick videos. Hey, this is how I do it. This is how I wear a flashlight. This is how I search on my belly. This is, all these like quick tips, right? Like converting SCBA, like all these different things. But you're willing to put yourself out there and have that conversation with people, and you're not worried about the backlash, because there's always backlash. I deal with it. Everybody that puts themselves out there deals with it. Bro, thick skin, huh?
Oh, dude, I already know it, man. I was like a giant cartoon character when I walk into places. Like you're going to have that spotlight on you. But, dude, I mean, I'm super fortunate. I mean, look at you. Look at us. The fire service as a whole, man, we have this network to talk to guys. And even if it's talking shit, I don't care. We're talking the shop. Like, dude, you got a better way? Good. I mean, even with me still, I don't want to call it teaching. I heard this great line from somebody the other day. It was sharing. I was like, I didn't come up with this stuff. I'm just sharing what I learned. And, dude, even with guys messaging me like, hey, man, we saw this, we do this. Now I'm learning from them. Dude, I'm learning from guys across the country. Dude, it is phenomenal. The fire service right now, if you're not buckled up, dude, you're going to fall off this bitch, because it is fantastic. It's phenomenal. It's been great. And we got the steering wheel. It used to be we're doing a hard turn and we're fighting somebody else. We got that motherfucker in our hands now. And dude, we're on the right road.
What I love right now is we talk about this subculture from years ago where there was like this underground culture of like small conferences and guys just going and working on weekends to get better and honing their skills, but they were afraid to put it out there and afraid to talk about it. But there were these little like echocosms of groups, just, we want to do better, we're doing better, we're pushing forward. Now, fast forward, man, this has become mainstream now. Like, that's the thing. It was so contagious that people have signed on and have gone all in. And I have to think, it's so easy to point out the negative, and there's always going to be negative. There's always going to be the slugs. There's always going to be people that don't want to push and progress this job forward, and that's okay. It's part of life. Like, we're not all built to be rock stars. But the thing is, right, is like ultimately everybody wants in on what we're doing. And not we, you and I. It's the fire service. It's the subculture that has come mainstream now. It is the norm. It's the norm. What do you got, a power outage there? What's going on there?
It's these fucking motion sensor lights.
I love it. I love it. You're back on. Don't worry about it.
It's all right. It's all right. I got to wave my arms around. I'm in the corner at the volley house trying to
when you're like sitting in the bathroom, you take an extra couple minutes to read something a little bit longer, the light goes off, you're sitting in the stall, and you're like, oh, shit, man. Now I got to open the door. I love it.
Great. That's all I need, dude. You're over here just preaching, and all of a sudden...
No, listen, what's fun about this is the excitement you have. And that was my whole point. And that's where I really wanted to go with this, right? It's how is it not? Like, how can you not be excited about it? How can you not get going on it, right?
I don't get it, man. Like, everybody, even still to this day, if you're working with me or if you're volleying with me, anyway, tones drop, I am sprinting to the rig. I'm not being reckless. I'm not trucking somebody. I mean, if it's a box, like, dude, get the fuck out of the way. But like, I'm going to run to the rig. And like, I talk to the older guys and like, hey man, one day, it's just going to be a call to you. I was like, until then, fuck that. I'm not going to, dude, I look forward to the tones dropping. I don't care if you, and I've said it, stubbed your toe or your house, fire blowing out windows. I am excited to be here. And I don't know if I've got wires messed up in my dome. Probably. Mm-hmm. If I do, fuck it. It's for the good. You know what I mean? And I'm going to keep doing that. And negativity, we talked about it. There's going to be, guys thumbing you and thumbing you and thumbing you. Kill them with kindness. That's all I do, man. And dude, a simple smile goes the longest way. And the thing is after a while, that guy, we all know the dickhead in the fire service.
That's right. That's right. We got him.
You're like, dude, I know that guy is a dickhead. I see him every time. He's going to be this way. But guess what you are? Dude, that's the guy that always runs to the rig. That's the guy that's always smiling. That's the guy that wants to be enthusiastic to be here. And if that's what I am, cool. That dude, I'll take that title. It's better than being a piece of shit.
Yo, that negative stuff is so contagious, right? But it's only contagious when we don't have somebody caging it.
Oh,
Meaning, like, negative houses exist, negative companies, negative fire departments, where everybody has hopped on this train of negativity and pissed offness and just not caring, let alone they all walked in the door caring. There's not a single guy that walked into the fire service volunteer career that didn't want to do this job.
Well, dude, it's like I don't want to really say this, but it's like chasing that high, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows what it was. When you walked into the firehouse, like I started in a young area when we had Facebook. And what did everybody do? You got your lid up on your locker and everybody took that picture and that was your background picture. And you loved it. You were about it. And the thing is that energy kept going and going and going. And then you were blessed by the tones going off, the bell ringing, whatever it is. And now you see guys running, putting on your gear. And that energy just is there. And it's always there. It just depends on how you process it. And the thing is with me is I'm going to soak it up. I'm a sponge. And like, you know, my big thing is eating it up. Dude, fill up my plate. I'm going to keep munching and munching and munching. It's like going to grandma's house on Thanksgiving. She put more stuff on there, put more on there. Covered in great. It's the best ever. And if you want to get disconnected from it, I get it. But we've talked about this. Guys get into that dickhead like mentality. And there's probably better terminology. I'm not a philosopher.
No, go with it. It fits perfectly.
But like I fell into that category for a little bit. And now I was like, you know, like, oh, you shouldn't be on the fucking rig if you don't know what you're doing. Well, did you take the time to get with that dude and figure him out? And the thing is when we get these new people, they are a spark. Mm-hmm. They are a spark, and we're just giving them gasoline. Keep that kid burning. Or that guy, whoever it may be. Because I volley with dudes that are like, hey, I'm 50. I just wanted to try this out. Not saying that's an older age, but to get into this. And the thing is you kill them with enthusiasm, they're going to want to come back. You're going to build that culture. And if it's good culture, you're going to make fireman culture. Because the thing is, you're going to see firemen doing fireman shit, and everybody wants to do fireman shit. And it's the best ever. And like, you got guys that they dive in, and the thing is they can't dive into a pool that's only got 3 inches in it. I'm giving you a fucking 20-foot deep pool, bro. Cannonball in that bitch, dude. You getting wet. We having a good time.
I love it. And you know what drives me nuts though is the joy people get when they deflate others, and I just don't understand it. Like you said, man, those bells go off. I don't know. I might have been before we hit record. You were like, hey, I'm at the volley house today. If these tones drop, man, you know how it goes. I'll be back. And I said, yeah, hell yeah, man. I hope to go with you. The point is like, I've been in firehouses, my own firehouse, where the tones drop and everybody's standing there. And they just get up and walk. And I go, guys, we're firemen. Let's go. Like, what are we doing? Like, let's get excited about what we do. Right. And when you have new guys, you talked about new guys and giving them the opportunity to be firemanship, right? We want that out of our people. The worst thing you could do is deflate them when they're early in their career, deflate them when they're early in the house, because all you're going to do is suck any love or joy that they could possibly get for this job. They're going to suck it right out of them.
Oh, without a doubt. And the thing is we get like, I don't know about you, but when I started the fire academy, dude, I couldn't sleep. I was in bed just like, you know, oh, I made it, you know, I'm going to go do it, you know, like even in the volleys, you know what I mean? Like I started young. I had to wait to a certain age to start, you know, we have in Virginia Firefighter 1. But the first day I am about it, dude. Like I'm jittery about it. And the thing is people can try to mask it and everything like that is. But when they started, they all had that energy. Everybody does. I talk to people across this country. Yeah. And the thing is they have that energy. We just got to make sure that we don't smother that spark, because then we just make that dull thing. Like I get, you know, like some guys have, you know, they're, you know, we're tough guys. I'm not that guy. I'll ruin your picture because I'm going to be in the back like happy as can be, you know, like don't get me up in PG because all those, you know, those dudes are tough dudes. But I mean, good fire faces. I'm not shit, but you know, smile a little bit. And I got some boys up there.
How do you not? Like, I don't understand that. All these pictures we take at fires and stuff, and everybody's got this stern face on them. And I'm like, wait, I just had a great hour and a half here, man. Like, good 20-minute. Like, this was a good play.
But, I mean, and even it's still in that culture, man, those guys are taking the picture. Like,
Yes.
like
That's true. That's a very good point.
don't belittle somebody. They don't know. But the thing is don't kill their enthusiasm. You can definitely, some guys get a little far fetched and they're doing like outrageous things. Rein them in, but don't kill that enthusiasm. Keep that energy, because that energy might boost you up, dude. Because there's plenty of days I come in the firehouse, I'm like, dude, I am shot. I don't want to do
I
nothing.
agree with you.
Dude, like, let's see what's on TV. Let's get into a series or something. Like, I'm done. We'll check out the rig. We'll chill out. But the thing is, if I got a guy who's like, hey man, I really want to do this today. They're chomping at the bit. Dude, feed them. Feed them, keep feeding them, keep feeding them. And dude, that's going to end up getting you be like, man, I could take a bite too right now. Let's dive in.
I think that's where, when you look at it, we all have off days, man. Like, I have off days, trust me. Like, and I have to try to be upbeat and try to carry the persona of National Fire Radio and like all the travel and podcasts and everything we do. Trust me, man, there are days that I do not want to do this. I do not want to talk to another guest. I don't want to post social media. Like, this is an ongoing effort. And then take that to the firehouse. There's days that you don't want to do anything. There's days you don't want to train. There's days you don't want to wash the truck, right? But this is where we pick each other up. It is so freaking awesome when somebody else comes in and gets your fire going, when you had no desire to do anything. And next thing you know, your brother or sister next to you picks you up and says, hey, man, let's go do this. This will be good. This will be fun, right? That's what it's about.
And you're instilling that culture, man. Like, it's about it. Like, like, sometimes you got to get checked. And the only person to check you is your boy or your girl, whoever that is, that they check you. Hey, man, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, let's get back into it. They know who you are. And the thing is we learn our people. We understand our people. The thing is I can't just come in with, rah! Like, that's not, I mean, like, I know that sometimes I'm a little too much and I have to gate it back. But the thing is some people want that, man. They're like, dude, I'm waiting for this. This is going to be the best. And the thing is, if we give them that attention, dude, they are going to want to try to, I don't want to say impress, but like, they want into it. Everybody wants that buy-in, and they have to earn their way in. It's like I've said before, I treat the fire department as a gang. We're not, beating up each other or anything like that. We might, you don't mess around, but you still want to earn that right. Like, hey man, like, dude, you like, for us, like, when you first come in, doesn't matter where you came from, especially my volley house, you rock a red shield. Hey man, you're on probation. We got to make sure you're squared away and stuff like that. Cool. And then you build and build and build, and you find those cultures within the firehouse of like, okay, well, those guys over there, they're kind of about it, but they're just checked out. But then you got these other guys that want to train and want to build and have a good time. Dude, I am all about just having a good time and just loving every single second.
I think often though people get beat down, right? And it's finding ways to come back from being stymied or smothered. And it's how do we build ourselves back up to get to a good place? I mean, it can happen to the very best. I mean, I had lunch the other day with somebody that was, for me, somebody I read his articles growing up, and now he's a friend. And we had lunch the other day talking about a few things. And it was just, for me, he can even get put down a peg or two and get disgruntled and upset with the system or the fire company or the rules or management or whatever it is. It's finding your way back. We can't allow people to be settling in the trench. We need them on top. We need them to keep pushing forward. So listen, I think to everybody listening, and I know coming from this episode with you, with the excitement level that you bring to the conversation, we all have those off days. Just get back on your fucking horse and go. We need you.
Dude, I mean, not every Super Bowl team, I think there was one, goes undefeated. Not every championship team goes undefeated. You're going to have bad days. You're going to fall.
We got losses.
Yeah, but how do we rebound from that?
Yes.
And another thing, too, is if you're seeing a brother be negative, you know what I mean? Like, you even have good dudes that some days, like, they're just being negative. Dude, I would say probably everybody on this page and everybody listening right now is brave, right? We're all brave. You get fire blowing out a window, dude, I guarantee you guys listening to this are chomping at the bit. They're waiting for that. They're driving down the road, sizing up houses, just going, to mom's house to go have a conversation. They have that, that firefighter mentality. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I got firemen. I got people that want to do this. You're brave enough to do that. But then here's another thing that I think is the hardest, and it makes my stomach turn. Are you brave enough to check your brother when they're being negative?
Mm-hmm.
that is, to me, like, yeah, you're courageous, you're brave, you're knowledgeable, but when negative is. You got to be brave enough to be like, hey man, dude, you're really, you're the negativity is not good. Now
Right.
you could bite my head off. I'm a grown ass man. Like, I have been told to go, pack sand and everything like that.
100%.
But okay, do I feel better that I was brave enough to approach you? You
Right.
know, I don't know how many times where I've been told, "Hey man, go f yourself." I don't care what you think. Okay, cool. But then you know what it is when you get that conversation by themselves later on, and they come back and be like, "Hey man, you know what? I appreciate that. You know, I
Yeah,
appreciate you coming to me and saying, "Hey, I got to improve that." And guys have done that to me too, because
sure.
everybody gets in that rut, but we have to be brave enough to talk to each other.
Well,
The
I think
firefighting
that's
stuff is a
good.
token
Yeah.
of like, oh sweet man, we get to go to fires every day. And I know guys that work at the busiest firehouses in the nation, and they're not going to fires every day. Their
Right.
district might be, but they're not. But we need to be enough, like, that is incentive. We need to keep that spark alive so the guys get that taste of that fire before we
Yeah.
put that spark out, and they never get to see the awesome, cool gangster shit we get to do on a fire, because they're like, man, I'm not going up there, man. Those dudes were total dickheads. I'm not about it. And now you've
No, I agree. I think the fire ground is some of the easiest stuff we have to navigate. I think the fire ground is easier than the everyday. So I love this guy, man. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna keep talking though. But you know what I'm saying though? Like, I think the fire ground's the easiest stuff we do, and it's all the other stuff. And when we're not having fires every day, we're still having all the other stuff every day. Training, housework, relationships, friendships, our marriages, our family, our second job, third job, or if you're a volunteer, your main job, like all those things. Those are things that we have to deal with daily, but we're not dealing with fires daily. But when we have fires, and that's the best thing about it, right? When we have fires, everything else seems to fall in line for at least a little bit in the short term, right?
And
So
morale is just
yeah,
skyrocketing.
but if we could have fires every day, everything else would be good. But we don't. So we really need to focus on that other stuff too. As much as, and I know how important training is for you because that's what you do on your social pages. I get that. But it is having those hard conversations. It's buying into your people. It's seeing changes in your people around you and then addressing that. Have the hard conversation, because if you don't, you're part of the problem. You're facilitating, you're enabling the problem to fester or carry on or get worse.
It's just like fire, man. Like, we see we see it, we put it out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because
Yep.
if not, it's gonna double itself. It's gonna triple itself. It's gonna get bigger and bigger. But dude, if we can check it right there, we check it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and it's all about just improving everyone, from from the rookie to senior man to fire chief to whoever you are, or just in general in life. Hey man, dude, you're in a rut, dude. Like, we got to be
Yeah.
brave enough just to be like, hey brother, I'm here for you. What's going on? Okay, go fuck myself. I'll have a good day. You know what I mean? I got it off my shoulders.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's a
God
big
bless you.
part
Have
of
a
it.
good one, bud.
Well, I mean, this kind of resonates with something that you had said on our first episode. And I was reading through the show notes. I was reading through the summary I had done on the last show and so on. And something you said, it just said, be a fireman, not a spectator.
Oh,
And I think that is, it's not, again, just the fire ground. It's don't be a spectator, man. Go all in on this. I really believe that. Like, I think when you go all in and you make it a big part of who you are, the rewards are endless. And we're gonna fail. We're gonna have losses. We're gonna have tough days. But the wins are there, and they pick us back up, man. Don't be a spectator. Don't be a spectator.
100%, dude. And I mean, that goes to the fire ground. That goes to this. Like, you can have the T-shirt, man, but like, I want to know the dude that's ride or die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I gotta if I can't trust you in the firehouse, how does that relate to the fire ground? You know
I
what
agree.
I mean? And dude, like, the guy that I trust, I train with, we have conversations with, like, that integrity of the crew and everything like that is going to build us to a substantial. We're going to be the lead dudes, and like, I've said this 100% before. Like, either you work for the best fire department or you apply somewhere else, and you control that. It's 100% you. It's not anybody else. It's all on you. A great friend of mine, he's a power lifter. He told me this, and I used to power lift. He says, hey man, at the end of the day, we train together, we lift together. But when you're on that platform and you put that bar in your hand and you got to pick it up off the ground, it either moves or it doesn't fucking move. And the only person you can point a finger at is your fucking self, and you
There it
have to
is.
live with that. And the thing is you can go back and you can point your fingers and say, I had a bad day, I had this, but did that fucking bar move? And you can apply that to anything in life. I apply it to the fire service. You know what I mean? We show up on a fire. Did we win or did we fucking lose? There's no
Yeah.
questions about it. And the thing is I want to win every single time, and I'm going to build a winning team.
I'm curious. I'm curious about this, right? So you got my brain going. The way my brain works, it spins and spins and spins. And so I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking about times that I've screwed up, things that I not done well, and how do I address it in my life? How do I, especially let's take it to firefighting. I get on the fire scene, I screw up. Don't stretch correctly, the flakes don't come off, or I'm operating the pump and I like whatever it is, right? Go to the roof, searching, whatever. I missed that closet. Like it's always gonna happen, right? There's always room for improvement. My thing is, though, is you got to be pretty much all in to feel the repercussions of not performing at your ultimate. And I wonder today how many guys go, fucked up on that one. I guess I'll do better next time, and don't own it, right? Like, I think that's a big part of the process, right? It's like if you are doing a search and you miss a closet, or you're checking for extension and you didn't pull that molding and it lights up before, whatever it is, right? I could come up with 1,000 different scenarios of things that we just don't do thoroughly enough, right? Or something, we miss something. Holding yourself accountable for that so that it doesn't happen again is a huge part of the process. I'm worried today more than ever, guys aren't really holding themselves accountable because they don't freaking care at times. What do you think?
And it all comes down to, like, am I checking in? Like, you know what I mean? Am I checking in on my guy? Like, if you fucked up on a call, like I used to be a I don't know. I use it and I teach a class. It's called Aggressively Happy, and I don't want to give too much away. We're having a seminar, but anyway, I used to be that aggressive dog in the back. You know what I mean? I used to be the guy that like, don't go near that because he's gonna rip your head off. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But we have to know when to click that button. I always prefer to be, if we're going to be aggressive, let's be talking about dogs. Let's be like the cop canine dog. You know what I mean? Like, I can bring that dog around. Everybody can pet it. Kids can pull on its face and everything like that. But when a button's pushed, I know when to activate. And the thing is we have to do that same thing. If I got a guy that was really doing searches and all of a sudden, he's like, hey man, I missed this room, and he comes to me and we talk about it, we train on it. We're all human beings. Especially me, dude. I'm a lightning rod, because the thing is I do a social media page, and then if I go to a fire and fuck up, dude, trust me, guess what? I got pictures taken of me. I got videos of me, oh, hey, look at this and that. Okay, cool, man. I'll take it. I know how to handle it.
Wait, there's a target? Are you sure? Come on.
Lightning rod, man. Lightning rod.
Yeah, I know.
But I have to approach that guy. But the thing is when they go, hey man, I missed that search. Hey man, you missed this. Oh, it's all right, man. Somebody else will pick it up. No. Nope. Hey, buddy, you got it. We got to build on this. Yeah. Are we human? Yes. But did we discuss this? Yes. Are we building ourselves up? 100%. But then I use an example of like, hey, man, what if that was your, loved one in there? What is this? What is that? And it's all a team cohesiveness. Look at that, big words.
Nice,
yeah, right. And then I got to make sure that, because we're all counting on you. If I send you into a room and I'm ducking to the other one, hey, is that one searched? Oh, well, guess what, buddy? Next time I need you to go outside and make sure that tree over there doesn't fall over. Just go over there. You can hold your hands on it. Make sure it's in the neighbor's yard, and make sure that motherfucker doesn't move. But I need to have that trust. And if I build that trust now, I'm going to be good. And the thing is, if you have that integrity to come to me and be like, hey, bro, I fucked up. Perfect, man. I will work with you. But if you're that guy that wants to be the guy that I don't care or everything like that, I have no need. I have no need for you. I don't want you there. The thing is it sounds harsh, but I have to be brave enough to be like, dude, if you're really that disconnected, you're a hazard to the fire service. And more importantly, you're a hazard to the people that called. And that's who's relying on us. And the thing is, if I check that now, maybe hopefully that's a light switch for that guy, and he can build on it. It depends on how you rebound. If I have a shitty time, guess what? If I fucked up on a search, guess what we're doing? Back to the house. I'm searching. I'm going through that Rolodex in my head. I'm learning. I'm pulling guys. I don't care if it's a rookie to a senior guy. Hey man, watch me. What do you got on this? What do you got on this? How did I do? And I think the guys that are chasing perfection are the guys that are going to be the hardest on themselves. And I love seeing that. Be hard on yourselves, but don't be debilitated. Don't crush yourself so much where you can't function anymore.
We need those.
Improve.
Go ahead.
No, you good, bud. You good.
I was gonna say we need those guys up the chain though.
Oh yeah.
And that's one of the things, because that's the culture that holds people accountable. But if we have subpar leaders and we have people above us that aren't holding themselves accountable for their missteps or their inactions, they're certainly going to allow it to fester, which then sets an environment and culture that allows for your backstep firefighter to make errors, and could be egregious errors, and never be held accountable for them. And I think that's where we have to be very careful. So we need formal and informal leaders. We need people that believe in their morals, ethics, and values. They believe in the job. They believe in a certain level of delivery. And we cannot get to an environment where we allow for subpar delivery of our services. We just cannot do that.
No, it's plain cut and dry, dude.
Yeah.
You say that cannot happen, and that's the way it works. You know what I mean? If I could get cut from, I don't know, high school football, right? I go to the tryout, and I gave everything I did, but I did not reach that standard. Then, hey man, sorry man, you're not on a high school football team. Why can't we apply that to the fire department? You know what I mean? If I can get cut from a play, I don't know, whatever you want to add into this. If I can get fired from making sandwiches, why can't I do that with the fire department? Now, I'm not just saying chop people, you know what it is. Somebody says everybody needs the opportunity to be a fireman. Everybody needs that opportunity. But when you get that chance, what are you going to do with, how are you going to, I don't even know how to word this, but that opportunity of being a fireman, but some people don't need to be a fireman.
Yeah, it's not for everyone.
Yeah, and the thing is, hey man, dude, I'm telling you now, if you come to me and say, man, I'm like, and I'm brave enough to be like, dude, you shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing this. And even with an officer, like where I always come from, and that's volunteer career wise, we always say bitch up. Don't bitch down, because we don't need to, crush our guys, at the bottom. You know what I mean? Let's have that conversation with, the higher guys. And the thing is when we talk to them, it might be the, hey man, go pack sand, whole situation again. But I had that conversation. Hey man, what are you doing here? And hopefully that's at least a blimp of, some people just don't know. They're like, they just might be like, dude, no one's ever said that. Well, right. Hey man, like here I am. I'm trying to make you and me better. I'm not here to belittle, because the biggest thing that we do in the fire service, as we all know, is, hey, look at this dipshit. He missed this. He messed up. He didn't know what this was. Well, did you talk to him? Are you just back here?
What are you doing about it?
Running your guns, because the guy walks in, and everybody's like, hey, what's up? Oh yeah, blah blah blah. It's like, dude, we've got to have those checks and balances to make every single person in the fire service better, especially when we notice it, especially when we see it from the get-go. And the thing is and it sounds like a broken record, you got to be brave enough just to be like, and you got to have respect, of course, but you got to be brave enough to acknowledge it and be like, hey man, I see this situation, I see it coming down the line, I'm here to talk to you. Take what you want. I'm here to make us all better.
I love this because, so many guys want the firehouse culture to be better. Oh man, my firehouse sucks. Like, this and that. We're missing this. I'm missing that. We want it to be like it used to be. And I'm like, well, that starts with you.
100%.
Like, are you having hard conversations? Are you holding yourself accountable and to a different level than the guy next to you? Are you trying to pick people up, or are you putting them down? Are you shit talking on your phone and throwing shots at guys that aren't there? Or are you actually leaning over, bending over, taking a knee with them and showing them how to do it correctly? Like, what do you want out of your culture? Because it's fucking easy to complain. It's even harder to do. And I think that that's a big part of the disconnect that we're dealing with in the fire service, is that everybody wants it better, but nobody's willing to put in the work.
And there's some things you're not going to win. Like the last
100%. Yes.
The last podcast I did with you, I talked about puzzles. Like I was dealing with, a bunch of old grouchy dudes, and they're like, oh, this shit, this, that. And I'm just like, All right, all right. There's no winning this. Distraction, dude. Distraction is key, man. Boredom is the biggest killer in morale that I see, dude.
I
If we
agree.
get bored, we get pissed off.
Yes.
Like like man, I've been up at the firehouse, didn't catch a fire all day.
Yeah,
You
we want
know,
to do. We
yeah,
want to run.
yeah. Like everybody wants to do that. I can make runs. I can make you. We can work together. We can have a fun environment. Have that distraction from the boredom. You control how your day goes. Like, hey man, group workout, cool. We're gonna go lift weights. We're gonna go run around. Maybe not so much run around. I don't like that stuff. But anyway, but like but we're gonna do something together to have that distraction. Even at the slowest firehouse. Slowest firehouses. I mean, I've been in firehouses where we know we're not gonna turn a wheel. It's like, okay, cool, man. But what are you doing with that boredom? Are we sitting there staring at each other, or is everybody, what? Like, no, we're sitting there,
We're
have
just
conversations, do
yes.
something. Like, even if it's simple as a puzzle. Like, I found a puzzle, I dumped it on the table. The distraction of building each other up and making sure you're ready for that job. And the thing is having a good time. The, the fires are great. We have the great war stories of fires, but more importantly is I want to hear about what happens in the firehouse. I want to hear those good times. Like, yeah, dude, we eat together, we're joking together, we're having great conversations. And the thing is the fire service has made me who I am today as a man. I learned
Yeah.
so much from the fire service. Like, dude, do you think I knew how to buy a house? Do you think I knew how to do taxes and stuff like that? Like, I've got my family, but I've also got guys that I'm living with for a third of my life that understand, hey man, this is how you get this straight. This is how you get straight. Okay, that comfortability makes me really stable in my firehouse. I'm now stable with them. Now we can train together and build with that stability to train even harder. And now I know, okay, cool. I've got this communication already. I could come to you with anything. Like, hey man, like I was telling you, the old lady's car broke the other day. I got tons of boys who are telling me how to fix it. I don't know how to fix that thing. I could break a car apart. But now those
That's
guys
right.
are helping me. Now I've got that other guy in my phone. Hey bro, what do I do for this? Oh, you gotta connect the thing with oh hey man, I'll be over. Let's build back that culture. Like, I've been in firehouses where some guys like, hey man, I'm moving tomorrow. All right, when are you moving tomorrow? Right?
Right.
Like, I'm coming over. We're coming over, but I'm gonna send a group of dudes.
Yeah. Or it goes the other way. Hey guys, I'm moving tomorrow. And it's
Crickets.
that exactly that. Crickets, right?
Yeah.
Just silence.
I'm building.
Yeah. What do you want from it? Because that's the thing. That's what matters. It's like, what are you putting in? Don't complain and don't bitch if you're not putting in. And those extra things matter. I wrote down on my notepad. It's funny with you. There's not many things. I just write down 2 or 3 lines.
Okay.
Like
I'm all over the place, man.
chasing the high, aggressively happy, bitch up, right? But I just wrote down 2. It says make memories and have experiences. And one of the best things that came out of one of the podcasts a while back, and I forget who it was, but he's like, when I went to the firehouse, I never made a pot of coffee before. I never did my own laundry before. I didn't know how to do my linens. Like, he's like, I didn't know. I'm sorry, I don't remember who it is, but 300 and something episodes, bro. But it's like, but he said to me, he's like, bro, he's like, I didn't know how to do those simple life tasks because I've never had to do them before. You want me to put a line down a hallway? No problem. You want me to throw a ladder, climb to the roof, cut a hole? No problem. How the fuck do I wash my sheets?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, but that's a skill that has to be taught, right? Now you could self-teach, but obviously in a firehouse like that, like, we can work with you on that. How do I buy a house? How do I do my taxes? How do I find a good divorce lawyer? Like, all those things. Right? Right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but those are those things where, you're having experiences, you're learning, you're making memories, you're learning from other people's experience. That's the stuff that is the secret sauce in a good culture in your fire department.
Oh, dude, you hit the nail on the head, man. Like we got to bring back brotherhood. Brotherhood, sisterhood, whatever you call it. You know what I
Just
mean?
takes work.
It
just takes work.
Yeah, it's called a firehouse. Let's make it a house. You know what I mean? Like, I have to live here. I have to be here. Make it a place of comfort, man. Like, some dudes, like, I know guys that dread going to work because they're like, oh man, I'm gonna get my stones busted. I'm gonna have a worst day ever. But like, hey man, why are you having that? Have you had that conversation with that, your boss, your fellow firefighter, and everything like that? And also, too, is it you? You know what I mean? Like, you got a mirror in your house, man. Like, sometimes we got to have those hard conversations. And the
Give it a
hardest
look before you
conversations,
leave the house.
yeah, the hardest conversations I have are usually with myself. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And let me have that mentality of thinking, what's the best for my family, for my person, and for my crew. Like, we've got to make each other better. And the thing is I have to reflect too. Like, sometimes
Yeah.
I might be like, bah, and say something outrageous, and it's like, whoa. But hopefully I got that brother or sister to be like, hey man,
Rein you
rein it,
back
rein
in.
it in, rein it
Yeah.
in. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. And the thing is am I brave enough to come and apologize? Am
Yeah.
I brave enough to be like, hey man, I was in a bad spot. We were saying some, crazy things. You caught me on an off day and I apologize. But what does that do to morale? Oh, dude. All right, cool, man. Like, we all have, you said, everybody's got those text messages like, oh, what's up with Wilson today? He's being a dick. Like, okay, well, hey man, I came back. Hey man, what was up the other day? Oh, dude, he checked it. We checked it. We
Yeah.
got it figured out.
Right.
And then some days, like, dude, hey man, you go chill out. You go chill out.
Yeah, well, that's it too. Some days you got to be down. Some days you got to take some time off, and figure your shit out, get it together. I think one of the interesting things too is that program I do, the Bridging the Gap program. Part of it that I'm exploring right now is like, I talk about the cultural differences, the generational differences. And, our fathers, when they went to the firehouse, all the distractions in life were turned off when they crossed that threshold because they didn't have to bring it with them because they didn't have a phone or any way to communicate. And if somebody, if a wife or mother called the firehouse, like, holy shit, somebody died or something's wrong,
Yeah.
right? Like, so they were able to turn it all off. But today, everybody's so mixed up in 1,000 different things that all the stresses of life still come with them when they cross that threshold into the firehouse today versus yesterday. They didn't really have that. They were able to check it at the door. It might have just been a little simpler so they can be all in. And so we have to recognize that. And I think anybody that doesn't recognize the fact that people are dealing with a lot of shit today, that's part of the problem. I think we need to have a real approach and say, listen, you're allowed to have an off day. I just need you back tomorrow, right? Like, you got to
doubt, man. I mean, you hit
get it
the nail
together,
on the-
figure it
nail
out.
on the head, man. There's no disconnect from anything. It's no longer like, hey, I'm going up to the firehouse. Well,
Right.
I can still talk to you, or
That's right.
hey, I'm
That's
going
right.
across here. There's no longer that disconnect. I can keep track of you the whole time.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. So talk to me a little bit about your fun that you're having. I want to pivot a little bit.
Oh,
the
dude.
page is awesome. So it's FDIR on Instagram, and you're doing those training videos that we talked about in the beginning, and so on. But I see some more teaching happening, some conferences.
Dude,
things are starting to progress and move forward. What are we doing?
Dude, opportunity knocks. You gotta let that motherfucker in. You know what I mean? Like,
Hell yeah.
And I'm grateful, man. I meet some phenomenal firemen. I've taught with some fantastic firemen, and dude, it's just opened up, huge doors. Like, huge shout out to my boys in Forest, Virginia. They do training. Nice. Bedford Truck Company. It's a bunch.
Forest, I've been there. Those guys are rock stars. I spent an afternoon with them. They were awesome dudes, man.
They throw down, and you got a mix of dudes. Like, it sounds like a crazy bar story, but like, the other day I'm sitting down and I'm sitting next to an FDNY guy and a Kentland guy. Like, here I am being a big nerd. I got a box alarm and a Halligan bar tattooed on my forearm. Like, oh, you guys go to fires? But it's all normal dudes. And it's phenomenal. And the thing is that energy just keeps building you up.
You know what? You know what I wish I could do, Ben? I'm sorry to just cut you off real quick, but I want to hit on this before I lose track of it. I wish we could bottle up those conversations and share them with the world. Like, I get to do that too. I get to sit around tables and have a cup of coffee, have a beer at a conference or something. But those conversations where you go to some of these firehouses that I call them destination firehouses. They're places that guys would want to go be firemen, and you have to travel to get there because you don't live there. And you can go, and typically they're volunteer because it's not career, right? You can't just bounce around as a career fireman. So it's like these volunteer houses. I call them destination fire departments, where you can go and you meet guys from all walks of life, but they're squared away, they're solid, super good culture, and they go to fires. And those are destination firehouses to me. How awesome is it to be able to sit around and see that firsthand, and then all you want to do is bottle that up, take it home with you, and spill it on top of everybody and go, if you guys only knew what else is out there.
Dude,
gotta go find it.
Oh, and it's good people. Like,
yes.
take the firefighting out of it. Like, it's good people. We just have something we relate on. And dude, these guys are checking in on me. Like, I got a buddy Mikey, got my buddy Alex. These guys are in big areas and they throw down, but there's still dudes being like, dude, how's the family? How's this? How's the dogs? How's
Yes.
the kids?
Yes.
And the thing is like, dude, it's just you get that energy, and then all of a sudden you get to train with these guys. And dude, like with me, I'm like a soda pop that you just shook up, and I'm just like ready to blow. Like I'm just like like let me go, let me go, let me go. And the thing is I've got all these dudes, and and the door's open. And, like we're all sharing this same stage, and we're sharing. We want everybody to have that energy and that love and passion for the job. It's just phenomenal. I mean, like with the FDIR thing, like the boys from Passion for the Craft, the guys out of North Carolina, and I love them. They hit me up. They said, "Hey man, you would come do a class?" And I'm like, "Hey, I'm nobody big. I'm just just a normal dude that wants to share everything." They're like, "Perfect, come on down." And from that, I built relationships. I mean, I've got dudes in North Carolina. I got buddies in Ohio now, just from the simple thing of training, and then meeting and conversating. Like the fire service, man, we're all on the same page. We're all having the same problems. Like I guarantee there's somebody across the big old pond in Europe or something. It's like, oh yeah, we hate this guy. It's like it's the same thing, that we're goofy helmets,
100%.
but it's not. That's always what I mean? Like
Yeah.
but it's all the same. And dude, it's been phenomenal. And just,
What's it doing for you?
oh dude, you can ask my wife, and God bless my wife. I have the best.
I was going to
wife.
say, God bless your wife. I haven't met her, but God bless your wife.
Yeah, right. You got to deal with me all the time, right? You got to live with me, dude. Like she is a unicorn, like my rock, dude. Everything like that. And
I get it.
She understood when she married me. Like, dude, the day we got married, and then all of a sudden, like we had a honeymoon suite in town. A box drops, and I'm like, "Can I go?" She's like, "I know who I married." So now I'm running down the street in my wedding shoes because I didn't bring regular shoes to catch the box, and I catch the truck, and we get to go to a first due fire. That's how great my wife is. But she lets me go to these things, and she sees that it builds my energy back up. When I'm down in the rut, like we were talking about that rut earlier, I've got so many guys I can reach out to. Share your number. Be open with people, man. Don't be that that wall, just like the paint on the wall stuck back there. Put yourself out there. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Someone says like, "Hey, man, you're weird." It's like, okay, cool. I'll find somebody else that wants to be in my boat. You know what I mean? Like I've got my own drum. I'm playing my own sound. You could smack it too, but I'm gonna keep smacking this thing as loud as I can because I'm having a good time.
I've lost track of apologizing. I don't do it anymore. I am who I am. I'm very proud of who I am and what I've built and what I'm doing. I don't apologize for it anymore. If you don't like it, that's okay. I respect you. That's fine. I don't need to be friends with everyone. I don't need everyone to love and respect me. It's okay. It's totally okay. And I think that people have to get to that point. Like I've gotten there. And I'm just like, "Hey man, if this isn't for you, it's not for you." I don't care. It's me though. I got to be true to me, right?
100%, dude. And like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, if you're doing the right thing, we understand, right and wrong. You know what I mean? If you're doing the right thing, fucking doing it right. If you're doing the right thing and you're spilling your heart into something, you got passion, you're sharing and everything like with that, and somebody's got a problem with it, have the conversation. But if it's not their fucking cup of tea, hey man, there's somebody else over there, man. Like I'm all about it. Like let's dive in, let's be brothers and sisters about this, and let's build each other up. Because like I said in the beginning of this, dude, we got the fucking steering wheel, dude. We're driving the fire service, and dude, it is phenomenal. People are falling in the right spot. We're all having great conversations. It is fantastic to travel this country and see dudes that are all about fire service and want to make each other better. And they're chomping at the bit. And the thing is,
you and I were texting. We were texting last night, and I said I actually put in the wrong year. I meant 24, by the way. Yeah, all right. But fat fingers, right? Sausage fingers. But the thing is like I firmly believe that. Like this, where we are today, is so good. There's so much happening, and the guys that don't believe that, they're missing the boat, man.
Oh,
there's a lot. There's a lot here. There is so much opportunity today. Unbelievable, endless opportunity to go push yourself, be better, find better friends, find people that are going to pick you up, find people you can pick up. You have more opportunities today than we've ever had before in the fire service. So to sit here and say the fire service isn't what it used to be, it's not great anymore, fuck off. Like, it's as good as it gets today, and it's only getting better. I believe it.
Dude, it's phenomenal. And the thing is don't miss it. Like we have that famous saying of like, man, I wish I knew what the good times were. The good times are now. The good times are every
Yes.
single day. The day that you get to, you can stand up out of bed, walk in, and know that you can pull your gear out of your rack and hang it on the side of the engine, truck, rescue, whatever you ride, and be the best that you can. Enjoy those good times. Because at the end of the day, we're just getting older. You know what I mean? Like I'm not, I'm not old and I'm not young. I'm right in that middle stage. And the thing is I'm starting to see a lot of it. So like it's phenomenal. Like, dude, you
Yeah.
have the chance to be what you want to be, and it's all in your court. The ball is given to you. You know what I mean? We got to figure out who
Yeah.
we're gonna pass it to. And the thing is we're playing this great game in the fire service, and dude, we are winning. It is
I
so
want
much fun.
to ask you this. You opened the door, so I kind of want to go down it real quick if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Because I think how passionate you are, I think coming from you could be valuable for many of the listeners. Balancing all of this. I mean, you know, your exposure has grown. You're traveling more. You're teaching more. There's a Ben Wilson demand, if you will. And what's really cool about that is it opens up so many doors and opportunities, but you have that rock at home. And you got to be careful of that. Trust me, I had to learn that. Like I took everyone for granted for a while when I started building this. And I realized that at home wasn't so great if it's not going to be there when I get back because I'm focusing elsewhere. That's a problem. And it's so you got to find this balance and have those conversations. Has that been hard for you? A little bit of growing pains?
Dude, 100%. And
Yeah.
and the thing is I don't have an off switch. And
Right.
that, I mean,
I don't either.
There's tons of guys that don't have that off switch. Like,
Yeah.
like I have to, listen. We have to listen. Like, if the old lady's dropping me hints like, "Hey, man, I'd like to see you home," don't be like, "Oh, well, I
Yes.
gotta do this and I gotta do that."
Yes.
Like make yourself a schedule. But the thing is I used to be so deep into this, being like, I gotta get on every call. I gotta hit every fire. Oh, there's a training. I can't miss that training. Well,
Yeah.
the saying of like the firehouse will still be there. I'm like, oh well, what if I miss it? Hey man, there'll be more fires. There'll be more calls. There'll be more training. Your family, number one. That I've got little boys and I'm watching them grow up. But the thing is like like I'm gone for 24 and I feel like they've grown up 3 years. And I'm like,
Sure.
dude, okay, like you can do that. You can make your own food now. All right, right on, bro. Like,
You go to college?
I'll take some chicken nuggets too, bro. Like,
Yeah, right.
can you cut them? But
Right.
we have to know when that is, and also too is brothers and sisters too, man. Like, hey, man, like you been home lately?
Yeah. Seeing a lot of you lately.
Well, I got this and this and this. Okay, take that second to listen to say,
Yeah.
hey, man, that's a very good point. You know what I mean? And travel, man. Take your family on trips. Like, dude, like the fire service will be here. At the end of the day, the fire service will always be here. Like I dedicate myself to it. This is what I'm all about. But
Sure.
more importantly, my wife says the best thing ever, and I swear that's the one you should probably get on this podcast, dude.
Let's do it.
She's
I'm down.
dude. She's amazing, man. Like I love her to death. I'm very, very fortunate. But she said this to me one time, and it rocked me. It rocked me pretty good. She says, I know you want to be a fireman, and I want you to be a fireman, but the boys want you to be their dad. And I was like, oh God, yes, ma'am. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
is that something I had to swallow and be like, okay, cool. I need to be more active with the boys. Like now, we got. Yeah, I got my oldest in karate. My other one's just, he's just tearing the house up. But I mean, we can watch, Buzz Lightyear and have a good time. But being present, the fire service knows, hey man, you're gonna be here and everything like that. But being present at home, that's another thing that travels fast, quick, and we gotta enjoy that time. They're gonna understand, like me and my wife have a schedule, but like you got to be present. Like, don't be that picture on the wall that people reference. Like, who's that? Oh, that's my dad. That's my dad right there. Where's he at? Oh, he's at work. Where's he now? Oh, he's at work now. Oh, he's got a training and,
Yeah.
be present, man. Don't be that picture on the wall that people can just reference. Because at the end of the day, when I'm at a nursing home with those little yellow socks that got the grippies on it, you know what I mean? I can be like, where's a fireman? But who's coming to visit me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, they're going
I
to be there
I
for.
get it. Listen, bro. I had to learn this. I had a hard struggle. I still struggle with it. It's finding you're like there's no such thing as balance. Like it's just what does it look like today? Is today 70-30, tomorrow 60-40? Maybe it's 50-50 one day. Maybe it's I'm giving 80 and taking only 20 today. Like it comes and goes, right? It ebbs and flows, right? You have to be conscious of that. You're never going to find the balance that always works, and there's always going to be a tug of war at this, but you have to find something that works. But I'm so glad that you shared that with us, because what your wife says is 100% true.
Dude,
I have gone all in on my kids times 10 lately in the last few years now, and they're at an age, my two youngest that are home are 16 and 17 years old. They're girls, and it's like I am all in on them. Like I'm mush with them. And I have to be, because this is a very interesting time for them in life. They're learning, they're growing, they're maturing like you wouldn't believe. They're both absolutely stunningly beautiful, which drives me up a wall. You know what I mean? And it's like it's finding those moments, and then on top of my kids, but then it's also finding time with my wife. You know, Terry's a saint, and she puts up with this. And there's times she has to put her foot down, and I appreciate when she does. And then we have to rein it back in. And it's like, you know, so it literally is having those conversations. But you're right, man. Like, we got to check each other on that, too. And we got to be sure that, like, people's homes are good. Because if your home is good, then everything else is okay, you know? But if home is not good, you're not going to be good elsewhere. I promise you that. You're going to be struggling,
yeah,
you know?
You know, that's that brave conversation again, man. Like,
yeah,
dude,
look at you bringing it back around.
Hey,
You're
I'm
like
trying,
a
man.
podcast.
I've learned from watching you, but it's that brave.
I'm really impressed, pal.
Like, I can't have a high functioning fireman if the house is not right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
No, I do.
one of the biggest things I do is I'm an LT at work, but what I do is I said, hey man, if you were to get hurt and you wanted me to call somebody, give me that phone number.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? I was like, if you were to get hurt, just give me that phone number, because if anything ever happens to you, I want to be the first person to contact. Hopefully, you know, I mean, and I'm not trying to have a hero complex. If you get hurt, I'm right there next to you. But the thing is I don't want some random person. I want to introduce myself. You know, hey, I'm Ben. I get to work with, you know, firefighter Jeremy, you know, every day. You know, I want to introduce myself. You know, hey, this is who I am. If you guys have any questions for me, please call my phone. Text me anytime. The thing is if we got something going on, like, dude, where's Jeremy at? Is he at work yet? Is he here yet?
Right.
You know, like, guess who I can call? I call your old lady real quick, and she's like, yeah, he's in bed next to me. Well, wake him up.
Yeah. Yeah, he's supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? No, I agree with that, and I think that's the buying in, right? I think excuse me.
You're good.
I think it becomes very personal when you know names of children and spouses, and you have a connection with them as well. It gives them a certain level of trust and understanding, like, oh, okay, I know Ben. Ben's a great guy. Like, we reached out. Like, we can communicate. I understand what type of guy he is. Like, that's why it matters. I mean, you really got to know your people, and that's what makes the difference. I agree with you 110%. What's next for you, pal? I mean, you got a lot of training going on. The Instagram page is fun. Now, is that fueled by people asking questions? Like, where do you come up with the ideas?
So with the Instagram page, like I do like a lot of polls on it to see what we got to get going on. I want to do a lot more.
What do you find? Do you find a common theme, or is it all over the place?
It all depends. Like the thing I have to do is, like, if I make videos, my wife brought up, like, thank God once again for my wife. Fantastic. Hopefully she listens. She's gonna be like, oh yeah, you know, right before Valentine's Day. But anyways, I make that poll, and she's like, all right, well, let's make a few videos. Let's do a few videos. Let's build on this instead of me scrambling every week. So now I have one day dedicated, and the rest of that time I'm dedicated for family. But I reach out to guys. I see what's hot, and I see things on the fire ground. Like, if I see, like, okay, cool. Like, I just did an axe video of guys swinging the axe.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
We get really fixated on the Halligan bar.
Just hand placement, right?
I love it. But, like, you know, I almost had a kid blow off my thumb the other day at training. And I'm like, ooh, all right, maybe this helps. And like I've said before, the only thing I've ever wanted to do is start conversations in firehouses. Either you call me an idiot or, hey, this is a good idea, we should try it. whatever you do, I've started that conversation in the firehouse, and now I'm making everybody better. You know what I mean? And the thing is I found out with technology, a lot of people are sucked into that thing. And like I keep short videos. I can't do an article because I get distracted. I'm like,
Right.
the house has windows. I'm like, fuck that. I'll talk. You know what I mean? So
I
like,
agree. I agree.
I find out like, okay, cool. And the thing is I vet it. I'm very fortunate to have. I started a cadre of dudes, and my guys are the same dudes that would tell me that's dumb, that's good. Hey, you should work on this. Let's talk about this. And the thing is there's also dudes on social media that hit me up that have been
Yeah.
phenomenal. They're like, hey man, why are you doing that? I don't get that. You know, we would never do that. Okay, cool, man. Tell me what you do. Like, for example, like I found out from FDNY guys, they don't carry pins in the water cans.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, what? Well, I was like, dude, I got to worry about a cone falling over because I'm stuffing the can in the compartment. They're like, nah, man, we just carry it. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, man. And you learn and you build and you build.
Of course.
Another big thing we got coming up is our seminar, dude.
Talk to me about that,
dude. That has been it's the best thing that's ever happened to me, but it is a headache too. Like accountability of stuff, getting merchandise, getting all the stuff straight. But like, it's really cool because I was gonna reach out to like some bigger dudes, get guys coming in, and then I stopped. I was like, dude, this is our first one. This is for my boys.
There you go.
This is
for
my boys. I want to put them on a pedestal. I want to see, you know, like, hey man, come hang out with FDIR. FDIR, like, you know, yes, am I the face of FDIR? 100%. But it's a group of dudes that have the same values that are coming to share stuff. And some of my guys have like greatest experiences ever, and I can listen to them all day. You know, you could come and be like, oh, this kind of sucks. I'm like, I'm gonna be in the crowd, you know, like, woo,
Yeah.
Even though I've heard it, you know what I mean? Like, I'm excited. If I'm enjoying it, hopefully you'll enjoy it. And you know, I've got, you know, guys that I grew up in the fire service with, like my boy Cliff. He was in the same academy together. And you talk about growing together, dude. We got married. Like he got married, I got married. He had kids, I had kids. You know, he got promoted, I got promoted. We grew up together. Another boy of mine, Donald Jackson, dude was in the fire academy when we taught together. And like, dude, that fueled me, you know, to get, you know, like, oh man, he's like, dude, you're good at teaching, man. Keep this up. Keep what you're doing up. Cause you always check that balance of like, am I doing good? He's like, yeah, dude, you're doing fine. Another boy of mine, Dan Turner, he's teaching a class of what he's learned on a fire. And dude, he's got phenomenal video. He's great at talking to people.
So is this hands-on or is it class or like lecture?
It's all lecture.
Okay. When is it? Where is it? When is it? Promoted, man.
February 24th. Coming right around the corner here. If you're gonna jump in. It's only $60. February.
Where is it?
We're in Madison, Virginia. So, little ways out, but we're at Renback Barn.
Cool.
So, it's going to be a good time. We got food. It's only $60. I'm not trying to break people's bank, but I got 4 speakers, and we're here to make it a social too. I want people exchanging numbers. I want people rubbing elbows. I want people having a good time.
That's awesome. I'm just looking at the calendar. It's Saturday, February 24th. You still have open registration?
Open registration still open. Only $60.
Where can people get that?
So you can go jump straight onto our Instagram. And then also you can go to fdirtraining.com.
Cool.
You can look at FDR seminar tab, and then it'll open it right up there. And it's got our flyer, and then at the bottom of it, it's got a QR code if that's too hard for you, which that kicked my ass too. Underneath it, we have a registration button. Dude, this technology stuff, dude, I was like, if it's on my phone, how do I scan it if it's on my phone? And then somebody's like, just hold your finger on it. I'm like, oh, okay, well.
Oh, yeah. That way. Truth be told, I didn't know that either until not too long ago. So yeah,
that's gonna be my next FDR tip right there.
You should do a whole video on it. You know how many people you would probably hit more people with that than how to hold an axe.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, 100%. Brother, thank you. Thanks for joining me today, man. Ben Wilson, always a great conversation. Straight from Las Vegas. The guy hasn't been up yet, or he hasn't gone to bed yet. Yeah. This guy's been going all night, straight from the Venetian. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. I'll tell you, I'm starting off my day. This is a morning podcast, and when I start my day off with guys like you, it just fires me up for the day. And that's what we were talking about, man. Surround yourself with people that you want to feel good with. Like, this is fun. It was a great conversation today. I appreciate you. I'm looking forward to shaking your hand one day and just having a beer with you, man.
Oh, dude, you're not shaking my hand. We're going for the biggest hug you ever seen.
Yeah, well, brothers don't shake hands. Brothers got a hug.
That's
man.
right, babe. All love.
Sure. I love it. Ben Wilson, thank you. FDIR on social media. Ben, I appreciate you. Check out their conference on February 24th, Madison, Virginia. Go to FDIRtraining.com. That's where it is. $60. That's a bargain, baby. That's a bargain. And we'll even give you a sandwich. I love it. Ben, thank you, man. Appreciate you being here today.
Dude, I love it, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, stay right here. I'm going to sign off the podcast. I'll come right back, okay? Guys, thanks for tuning in for another episode of the National Fire Radio Podcast. Ben Wilson, FDIR on social media. Check him out. These guys are doing it right. He's putting out those weekly training nuggets for you, the short form, short clips, just to send a little more education and experience your way. So check him out. It's always a great conversation, and it's unlimited energy from this guy. So I'm proud to call him a friend. Check him out. Check out his conference. And, guys, thank you. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of the National Fire Radio Podcast. And do me a favor. Take this back to the firehouse. When we talk about the job, we're making the job better. We'll see you at the next one. Jeremy, National Fire Radio.
National Fire Radio.